Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you had a blessed night and that you will have a blessed and wonderful day. I want to talk about my decision to avoid having sex. Um, it's been about 16 years now. Um, it came about because I got hurt and I hurt someone. Um, you know, we have to practice safe sex because there are a lot of diseases and stuff out there, people passing to each other and people sleeping around, you know, men sleeping with different women, you pick up stuff, condoms break, all that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to be safe, you know. And the man I was about to be with, he lied to me. I did have him go get a HIV test. He came back negative, but he didn't tell me the whole truth. And he told me the whole truth after we had an encounter. Fortunately, we did not have sex, but the fact that he had been dishonest with me and we almost could have had sex, that hurt me to my heart. It really hurt me. And because we had done something, not necessarily, full on intercourse or anything, I was concerned. I was very concerned. So that really tore me apart, because I expected him to be completely honest with me. Did require him to go get tested. But so women and men, have whoever you're going to be involved with, make sure they get tested for all of the sexually transmitted diseases, not just HIV, but all of them: herpes, gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, whatever, all of them. Make sure they just get it covered, okay? And then you see the paper, you look at the paper yourself. Don't rely on them to tell you. Make them show you the paper. And even if you can go with them, when they go to get the results, so you could look at it, like when they come out the office, or if they give you permission to go in the office, look at that damn thing with them. And you get tested too, make sure you clean so you can show them. That way, you going in with a clean slate and everything. That don't mean you ain't gonna get nothing, because of course the person can go out and have sex, unprotected sex with someone that night, or the next day, because you know, people will do stupid shit. So, so the guy hadn't cheated on me or anything. It's just that I found out he wasn't totally upfront honest with me before we had made any type of contact. And so I was very hurt and I was very scared, because I was like, well, damn, what if he gave me something? Even though we didn't, because you don't have to have sexual intercourse to get something. You could get something from kissing. You could get something from any type of sexual behavior, okay? So I was scared, and what I did was I went and I paid $1,000 to order this medicine to stop this disease if I had been exposed. So that's how concerned I was. I paid $1,000 to buy this medicine, and I went to the health department. I took the medicine to the health department and asked them to administer me the shot, and then I just left the medicine with them. So I don't know if they ended up throwing it away. Probably ended up throwing it away, because it's not something anybody carries, because that's $1,000 medicine. Okay. But I got it because I wanted to make sure I wouldn't get anything. And so I took it. And so, with that man being dishonest with me, and with me, coughing up $1,000 to make sure I don't get something, I made up my mind then that I wasn't going to be, casual sex was totally out of the question going forward. Okay. I said, I'm going to have to be married. And then truthfully, even getting married is no guarantee that that person is going to remain faithful and only have sex with you. Okay. But I said I'm going to wait until I get married before I have sex again, and you know, God is going to just have to let me know who that person will be, because you can't really can't really trust a person, but God knows who He sends. So that, and then the other thing was, so I got hurt, and then I hurt a man. And actually saw the man cry, and that hurt me. So I got hurt twice. Um, and I didn't want, I was, I had just engaged in something that was unusual, totally new for me, and it just that's not, it wasn't a part of me, and it didn't work. And I'm too sensitive and a caring person to be okay with hurting anybody. So with those three events, I made up my mind. I said, well, no, I'm not having sex with anybody unless it's going to be my husband. So many, many, many years. How many years I said I told y'all? So it's been from 16 to 18 years now. Now I'm just being truthful with you all. I did have, well, I got into a relationship about, I don't know, maybe 8 years later. Maybe 8 years later, I did get into a relationship with this guy. I have a very, I had a kind of like sort of like a sensitivity or weakness for extremely handsome men, and this guy was, and so we ended up in a relationship, and so then I had sex with this guy, but if you guys watch my previous videos, I told you that I grew up in a dysfunctional family, and I had abandonment issues. So this guy triggered my abandonment issues. And so it was very difficult for me to leave this man. So I suffered tremendously. He was not a good person. He was very abusive. And because I was suffering from my abandonment issues, it was very difficult for me to leave this person. Fortunately, that only lasted 3 months, and amazingly, what eventually caused me to leave the relationship was my fear of getting a sexual disease, because I can say this, as far as I know, um, no man that I was with, that I've been with, has ever cheated on me. Meaning I was in a relationship with him and he stepped out me. That has not happened to me. I have not had that experience. Knock on wood. I intend to at least be with a man who is committed to me when he's with me. So I haven't had to worry about a man stepping out on me. But with this guy, because he was so abusive, uncaring, I just had a dream, and then too, because of the relationship, and I felt that he would step out on me, and so because I don't want to get the main thing that you can't get rid of, which is HIV. I was like, okay, no, I'm ending this. This is I don't care. I can't. I don't care. You use condoms, all that stuff, but I don't care, because it was a toxic relationship. It was very unhealthy for me, and I didn't want to, I didn't want to be with no man who was going to cheat on me, and I didn't want to risk my health, my life. So that fear of getting a sexually transmitted disease is what caused me to end that relationship. Otherwise, and what triggered that was, we were out at a mall, and I saw him look. This woman approached him, and she was a very attractive woman, and she had on these short shorts and everything, and she asked for directions. And I just saw the way he looked at her and as she walked off. So then I knew right then, and I had just had a dream the day before of him, telling me that he was going to cheat. So when I had the dream the day before, then I saw his behavior the day after, which was very disrespectful towards me. That's when I had the strength to break it off and just say no more. Um, and of course, I had to heal from that. But my dysfunctional upbringing and my abandonment issues is what caused me to stay in that relationship as long as I did. So then I decided at that point, that I didn't want to get into a relationship again. And I decided I wanted to increase my spirituality. So I actually developed a relationship with God. And I became celibate. The unfortunate part of that is that even though I wanted to get married and have children, that decision, that desire was more pressing. And so I ended up missing my time to have children because I went on and I was, celibate for many years, many years. If I had met a man that was marriage material during that time, I probably would have married him and, of course, come out of my celibacy. But I had just turned my whole focus onto God and my spirituality that I just sailed right through my childbearing years without being in a relationship. And I was okay with that. Really, I didn't miss it. And it wasn't until 2020, the end of 2022. So it's been about like 18 years, where I just had like 2 encounters that I just told you about. But other than that, celibacy, no sex. That second encounter was 2 years ago. And I was getting ready to leave the country and I hadn't had sex in so long. I was afraid. It just may sound silly, but I didn't want to go out of the country and meet a very, very handsome man and end up having sex with him. Because I'm like, man, now I get some foreign disease. I go out of the country and get a foreign disease messing around. Although I know it ain't no foreign disease. Disease is just disease, and the sexually transmitted diseases are the same. But, I just knew I hadn't had sex in a long time, so I knew there would be a greater desire if I had come across a very charming, intelligent, handsome man. So, God, I think God or it's kind of set it up where I met this guy right before I was getting ready to leave the country. Wasn't planned or nothing. But anyway, we had an encounter. And so, and yes, it was safe sex and everything. And, I found out he didn't have anything. He was clean. So I was in the clear. And then after that, I just didn't, I'm about to leave country. I'm moving. I wasn't trying to have a relationship. So it was just that. And then I haven't been involved since then. And now I'm at the place where, yes, I'm interested in a relationship. I want to have a relationship, but I move around. I live as a nomad, so I'm not in one place really long enough to actually go out on a date with someone and get to know them and spend time with them and them get to know me. Because I'm moving around from city to city and from one state to another, or I'm outside of the country. So, and I've decided that I'm not crazy about this online dating thing because I prefer the old fashioned way of meeting someone face to face first and talking to them that way there are a lot of scammers online, even on Facebook dating, still scammers and just liars, and you just don't know if the person you're talking to is even a man. And people want money and just a lot of scammers. So I just decided that, you know, I'm just gonna chill out and just wait until I settle down, and then I can, I'll be out and about and going to different activities and events and stuff like that, and then I'll meet somebody, you know. Um, so, but yeah, that's how that ended up. And I'm fortunate because I don't think about a man. I don't think about men. The only time I think about a man, he'll have to be standing right in front of me, and he has to be fine. He has to be very good looking, and then I'll be like, he's a cutie right there. But other than that, if the man is not standing in front of me and he's not fine, I'm not even thinking about a man. So I'm not missing having a man in my life because I don't think about him. I don't go to bed thinking about him. I'm fine in my bed. I sleep fine. I'm fine during the day. If I'm lonely, I don't know it. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't feel sad, or I'm not longing for a man or anything like that. So I feel fortunate in that way because I haven't had one in a long time. And I don't know when I will have one again. And let me say this. I have been married before. Okay, so I had done the marriage thing and I chose to leave that relationship. Um, you know, I chose to walk away from that relationship. And, I didn't have to work. I could have been just a housewife. He was an engineer. We had met in college, but it was a pressured relationship. Like he pressured me to marry him, and I would have married him on my own, but I didn't like the fact that pressure was there. But he did. He wanted me. He wanted me. You know. And I do think he loved me, or whatever it is man feels towards a woman that he wants to be his wife. He had that, but I didn't have that, what I needed to have to feel for him to stay with him. So, that's that. So, yeah, ladies, be careful. If you're going to have sex with a man, make sure you make sure he gets tested, and make sure you see the test results. And still use protection. Still use protection. Protect yourself. But I would just say be careful. You don't want to, because there's an exchange of energy. I'll talk about another thing. There's an exchange of energy when you're with a man, so you don't want to be sleeping around. You don't want to do that. That's not a good thing. Okay. But yeah, so I don't know how I would like to have another relationship before I leave this earth, and I believe I will. As far as myself, I've been working on my appearance. I'm losing my weight because you know, when I wasn't interested in being with a man and I was dealing with my emotional problems from my dysfunctional upbringing and stuff like that, I put on weight. And so that was also a deterrent in dating. Of course, there are men out there who like larger women, but you limit your pool, when you put on weight. So now that my weight is coming off, um, and I'm getting and see, another thing was I had like an hourglass figure, uh, you know, from childhood. I mean, even adult men were after me, and I was a little kid. It's crazy how men are with sex. It's just crazy. But so I know that I'll be more attractive to more men, going forward. and I will be meeting and speaking with them and everything. But still, I still have no intention of sleeping with a man unless he's going to be my committed mate. I'm not in this. I don't have a need to just have sex. Just to have a fulfilling sexual experience. That's not my need. I want to have a relationship with a man, committed, and then I can have a fulfilling sexual relationship inside of that. But I don't have a need to just go out and have sex and have orgasm. That's not a need for me. Like I said, I don't think about a man unless it's a handsome one standing right in front of me. Otherwise, I don't. Let me see. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. All right, God bless.